Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what we're doing tonight, it's our live D&D campaign tonight. So, well, if you're watching this on Friday, it's not going to be live. I'd like to make sure that that's clear because someone asked me that question a few Fridays ago. So, if you're watching this on Wednesday, it's live. If you're watching this on Friday, it's not live. I will be there, but, you know.
And then check your time zone if you're not sure.
Yeah, just in case. Because if it started at 7:30 for you, then if you're on Wednesday, you're on the western coast. If it started at 7:30 for you, but you're living on the eastern coast, then you're Friday. Just, something to help.
And if you're a time traveler watching this at any given moment, why didn't you prevent the JFK assassination?
That's really
Think about that.
Continuum.
Yeah.
They actually had to do the JFK assassination to make. It was very.
It's the only way to
dramatic.
protect the time of the stream.
Had no choice.
I'm sorry, Hitler had to come to power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an odd concept, but when you think about it, if time travel exists, the timeline we are experiencing right now is the last version of it. It's not
Turns
one
out,
of the
if he was allowed to stay in art school, he made art so disturbing that it caused the entire world governments to collapse.
Yeah, you never know.
So you have to ask yourself, it's like 11 million people or several billion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends on which one. No, I'm thinking. All right. So, well, as you can see, Avery doesn't seem to be there tonight. I don't know. I haven't received anything from him. So, I don't know if he's going to be there. I don't know. He was supposed to be there. But anyway. Alright, so. Oh. I heard bleep.
No one told you Jorg was gonna be this way.
I've been trying to communicate with my sister who's at work and trying to get dinner for us, but it's not just while you do the intro. So
okay. Alright, so if you like the thunderstorm in the background, that's Ambient Mixer. If you like the world map, it's WonderDraft. If you like the dungeon map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. And if you like the town map, it's Canvas of Kings. Yeah, there's a lot of map-making tools involved in home brewing. Well, not necessarily. Just if you want to do something that has a little bit of wow factor. Unless you're really good at drawing. I've seen people that are... It's incredible what they can do, but I'm not one of those. I'm good at writing, not drawing. So, what happened last...
Maps brought to you by Crayola.
Oh, I don't know if those pens still exist, the big pens. Alright, so, what happened last episode? The party repelled. I think that's spelled wrong. I think it's repelled as in coming down mountains, the way it's written. Anyways, the party repelled the second attempt at invading their fort. This time, arcane trickery was used to get a dozen rogue into the fort and try to steal the Exiled from under the nose of our adventurers. Fortunately, our heroes were able to prevent all the beacons from activating, and the attempt ended in failure with most of the invading force dead in a gruesome yet angelic display of magic.
No mercy.
Yeah, that's definitely one way of putting it. By sparing the few surviving enemies, the party was able to gain a little more information on their attackers. And before everything ended, Remy sent a message to one of the guild outside because his guild and that other guild has a relationship. And so, hopefully, he will be able to call in a few strings and make sure that the party doesn't end up dead. But you never know. Alright. Maybe everyone's gonna end up dead because of Remy.
Oopsie.
And then Jorg's gonna have to resurrect everyone.
Fuck me.
Like, sorry guys. He tries to cast revive on Raimi, but it's like his soul was not willing to return.
Nah, get someone else to do it.
No, he cast reincarnate. So Fisher becomes a human. Audience becomes a half-elf. And Remy is still a Kenku. Eat shit.
Like a series of sensor beeping here. It's like beep, 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 honk, beep, beep.
It represents the various language. Beep, 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 honk, honk, whack. What is that language? Because when you think about it, as human, we associate beep with cursing, but who knows? Maybe Dragonborn associate swearing with... I don't know.
Because you're talking out your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, maybe dwarves never censor what they're saying. So you hear it anyway.
And actually, the dwarves are hearing it and are just really confused. Why can't we understand understand the fucking thing that they're saying?
Oh. All right.
I think the scry tube's broken.
Whoa.
On Gimli.
My camera is shaking more than usual. Yeah, my camera is shaking more than usual. Okay. It's going to be a problem for another day. Okay. Where were we? Oh, yeah. We were preparing to meet up with the representative of the guild whose symbol is... Hold on, I have it here. Snake with a noose tail. Well, that's awkward. Audience not there.
I think you expected the intro to go on a little longer.
Yeah. Or maybe he was hoping. And I still don't have any news from Jorg. Did he have something tonight? Did he... You know if he's going somewhere tonight or something like that?
There's nothing I remember.
I love Avery to death, but he is not known for being great at communication.
Okay.
He'll tell his dog everything, but
Okay, well, I don't know. Hopefully he's going to. Hopefully he didn't just forget about us, because that's more upsetting. All right, well, apparently, Fisher, you're going to be the one who's going to have to be talking first.
There he is.
Oh, saved by.
oh, thank God. For a second, I thought he had to be socially communicative.
Because we were about to start, but we were saying that Fisher's going to have to start the conversation with the other guild, and then you came in.
It's like, I just want to imagine like Fisher's first line. So, are you a bunch of bitches or what?
Yeah.
All right. And apparently we're going to be missing Jorg for the entire night. I don't know. He's just not responding to me. It says he's idle. So, all right. So, you have a group of 6 members on the other side. One of them looks a little bit more high-ranking than the others. The other ones, well, the one to his right feels like maybe his right hand, but the pun wasn't intended until I realized that what I was going to say, and then it became half intended. But the 4 others do seem like guards, there to make sure that you don't try anything funny, or they're there to make sure that they can try something funny. There's a little bit of room for interpretation on this. So they're all standing there in front of you. I should probably...
Joke's on them. We hired a clown.
It's not one of those nice clowns.
It's the kind that asks you like whether they float.
My wall of force.
It's the clowns like it. No. You have one on your side. No. All right.
Specifically, Tim Curry playing the clown. Aha!
Yes. All right. So the gate open. You see them all. The one that looks to be in charge looks at you all for a brief moment, and he looks at Remy when he sees him. Hey, looks like you've found new friends. Might you be kind enough to introduce us to your new party?
As he's pointing to each one, literally using their voices. It's like as they've ever introduced themselves. Fisher, audience, except for Jorg, of course. Bitch. I'm kidding. It's like, but noticeably, like like it's a specific time when, like, you know, maybe it was like halfway between a yawn. It's like, and like a regular speak for specifically for Jorg.
You have something like,
it's like, oh yes, the sleepy one, as he's still probably cuddling up against, I guess, in his
yeah, he's, you know, he wrapped it around his shoulders, and he's still reeling from having to live an hour as a mouse. You know, he saw things.
Yeah.
He said, well, I see that you haven't improved your speech since the last time we met. You vaguely remember him. You've never actually talked to him in person. It was always with one of the higher member of your guild, but his guild did take a small interest in you at one point because you're kind of exotic. At least you're not usual. So you did exchange a few times, especially when you started asking for feathers, but eventually someone else in your guild stepped in and made sure that he understood you were part of their guild. That's about all you had for interaction with him, with this person. But you've seen him talk with other members of your guild several times.
Audience would just because of what was told to him. He knows this guy seems friendly, but I would like to roll an insight just before, just to see if I can make sure that these guys aren't just acting friendly. That is a 16 on the insight.
16. That's not bad. I'd say you're not exactly sure why. Maybe he's trying to hide how he's feeling and what his intentions are, but he isn't hiding it well. You see multiple cues that he is nervous, that he keeps glancing over his shoulder toward the fog. Not in a way that he feels like you feel he's waiting for the appropriate signal or anything. More like he is worried about being seen doing this.
Okay.
He does.
I'll throw.
His attention is also very centered around the crater because you get the feeling he's never seen one. So there is also a little bit of. Ooh.
Okay. All of that makes sense to audience. Just double checking though, I will throw a divine sense. Just to kind of get a general vibe.
Look at the crater again. There's the body of Yamcha curled in a corner.
Yeah. Just also divine sense and make sure that there's no one potentially like holding them. They're not being coerced into this. No one's hiding right behind them in the fog. But I didn't get that vibe, but I'm still going to use the divine sense just to make sure.
Your sense extends just like a ping going outward and coming back. You don't sense anything out there, at least not in range. However, you do sense from one member of his party, a little twist of something you'd call evil. Not pure evil. If you had to categorize it, you'd call this a seedy lawyer kind of evil.
Okay. I mean, I know they're a criminal organization. That's not crazy to me. Okay. No super malicious. Okay. Audience is fine with that. Audience is fine with these responses.
He will not be destroying evil in all of its locations on this day.
Yeah. Audience is alright with that. Alright. Go back to the conversation that he was trying to have with Remy, which isn't easy to...
So, remind me, it's 60 feet, huh?
Yeah, 66. It extends 60 on the divine sense.
Well, you also have confirmation that the Exiled isn't evil. You're in range of the Exiled.
I had done that before. That was the first thing I did.
Well, you have a second confirmation. Alright.
Raimi will say, birds of a feather flock together.
Hold on a minute. Okay. I think I know what you mean. Interesting. And he starts looking at all of you after he just analyzed that. Interesting.
Yep, you're all exotic, all right. Looks to the construct, the dragonborn, some guy. Kenku,
It's a bit weird when you want to say that Jorg is the most normal person in the group.
Just some scraggly
I mean,
dude from the woods.
we see. I almost wonder if maybe just like, okay, what's wrong with this one?
Well, he looks like a homeless person. He smells like a homeless person. Uh, he's not as shy as he should be.
Is he secretly a genasi? Wait, nope, that's skin. Ruled that out.
All right, so
All right.
you said
If Remy,
you wanted to talk about the situation.
yes. Please come in. Don't need to leave the gate open for longer, and you seem a bit nervous, so please come inside.
Well, that's very much appreciated, seeing as how many people have established their camp outside. It's always nice to see
Walked
how
over some dead bodies on the way.
they move up. All of them move inside. The gate closes.
I assume we can discuss things. What's like probably the least used tent that's still big enough for, but like not where like all of us have like been sleeping.
Well,
The most put together tent.
well, you've all been sleeping in the best tent, which is probably meant to be the tent of the leaders of the camp. The three other tents, which are probably meant for the garrison, no one has slept in any of them. They all have a table, but they don't have the same look of comfort inside.
That's okay. We don't need to take them to a place with beds.
and then one place is specifically for tense situations.
Yeah. I'll take him just over to the right, near the gate, the right tent.
All right.
And then I'll have Magna continue to patrol the walls and let me know if anything's amiss while I'm in the meeting.
As you go at the tent, you see someone just crossing all of you and says, "Hey, there's a chair next to the entrance. Looks nice. Maybe you can take it inside."
Don't sit in that chair.
They'll look at you for a brief moment with the why question mark on their face, but they just don't dare say it.
I'll say we have some interesting friends. Pet mimics among them.
There was a brief moment where one of them was, "You have friend chairs," but then you said pet mimics. Oh, you can actually keep those as pets?
I feel like pets may be a little derogatory.
If you're talented enough.
I see. And he looks at you, Remy.
Suddenly he looks back at the chair. He suddenly looks back at the chair, and there's a sign on it that says, "Definitely not a mimic."
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
It's okay.
I'm a fan of sight gags.
I was thinking if you can sit on me, but okay, that's good.
Sit on me now for a $5.99 discount.
So, you all go in. Well, you know, there's a lot of people. Jarg's gonna have to wait outside with the guards. He's gonna be your brute standing outside.
Awkwardly making conversation.
Just turns into an elephant, stares them down. Or the
I was thinking of a bear, but because he just does that more often. But sure,
It's like
huge Gumpa looking at you.
well, then just inside the tent, like after like the meeting is done. So, can we address the elephant outside the room?
No.
Oh.
We don't discuss the elephant outside.
Yeah.
Alright, I assume the leader and kind of his right-hand man comes in.
Yes, they're the ones inside here. Since we're gonna give them a different color so you can actually recognize a little bit more of them. Here we go. You're gonna give them a different color.
Alright.
That's an interesting little fort you have here. Must have taken quite a bit of effort to do this, apparently overnight.
Yeah. It's, you know, nothing like necessity to make hard work possible.
Yes. That and a little bit of magic. Guessing you have a fifth party member that you didn't introduce to us.
We have a few friends around here. Anyway, I know you're here to discuss the situation at hand.
Now, every time you're gonna say that, I'm gonna think about we need to discuss the elephant. Not in the room.
I believe you and my friends' guild has been on good relations, or are hopefully still on good relations in the past.
Well, they haven't double-crossed us, if that's what you mean.
Hey, it counts for something.
I guess it does.
It's like you actually specifically picked out a voice that they would recognize.
You sort of have a moment in your mind when you remember where that phrase was spoken exactly, and so yeah, that's a good thing they don't know, but it's the right use of the words. Yeah. You have very interesting treasure in the middle, quite literally, it would seem, of this fort.
It would make it far simpler if it was a treasure. Unfortunately, it's a treasure that has its own will.
Well, a lot of people would say the same thing about a lot of creatures in the wild, but they are hunted nonetheless.
Yes. I believe your guild specializes in capturing exotic creatures. Is that not right?
Exactly. Whatever you
Then-
need, if it's not normal, we can get it.
Then with your expertise, even you would know it is a little, I would say, off to compare an exiled to just even the rarest creatures of our world.
Hey, you can have a very decent conversation with an aerial elemental. People still hunt them.
You may be right. First off,
Oh, you know,
I'd like-
just shooting the breeze.
Yeah. First off, I would like to set the precedent of this meeting. The exiled is not on the bargaining table. This is around a way to appease you without you having to have the exiled in the table. For perhaps some help or just for you to leave this coming battle. You seem like decent folks, and I'd hate to have to kill you all.
Pretty bold claim for someone who is mostly alone, surrounded by hundreds of enemies.
A bold claim. Yes, but I'm sure you're aware of the other assaults that have happened and their results.
Yeah,
You do
minor
not seem like...
skirmishes. You seem like an experienced warrior. You know that siege can get much worse. And you have a little bit of a shortage of people.
You are correct. It is why I'm not a fool. It is why when someone comes offering alliance, I do not turn them down. But I also wanted to set a precedent for you before the negotiations begin, since I believe that that should only be fair to you to understand what is on and what is not on the table.
Well, now I understand what you're saying. You've been honest with us, so let me be as honest with you. Capturing the Exiled was a nice bonus. I mean, a very nice bonus. But we're actually here because it's not on this island chain. A few island chain to the west. There is a standing reward for their cloth. A single pound of their cloth is worth 1,000 platinum piece.
Due to their rarity, I'm not surprised. And
Now,
the difficulty in getting it.
capturing him would ensure a reliable supply. Essentially, it's a way to print your own money. Because I do hear it regenerates when it's on them. But, since you were kind enough to say that capturing him isn't on the menu, well, the reward still stands.
I understand
Might you
what
be
you're saying.
willing to let someone take a few pound of simple cloth?
Through the telepathic bond, Fisher's gonna go, no, there's no way that's happening.
Yeah,
Even if we wanted to, there's no way he'd let it happen.
yeah. I'll say, unfortunately, as I stated before, these negotiations have a third party, which is the Exiled, and I do not believe he would agree to any terms around that. They are very attached to their cloth. So, what I understand from this, though, however, is the whole idea behind this was for monetary security for you. Well, I have nothing that I can offer of equal monetary value. What I believe you are also looking for is security. Now, there are obviously risks to an assault from you. While the reward would be higher, you would also understand that not only would you have to fight us, but compete with all the other organizations for the Exiled and their cloth, and may end up with nothing, as well as many injuries and dead. Now, our friend Remy, while I cannot completely speak for the guild, I believe that he may be able to, as a member of it, garner you some kind of deal of security or alliance with that guild. And while the monetary value it does not quite equal what you're searching for, it does, however, provide far less risk of injury and harm and a far greater guarantee of actual return versus the lack of either from this expedition.
I can't say that I don't see your point. I mean, having a 22-way duel isn't exactly the safest way of doing business.
I would also be willing to throw I'd be also willing to throw 5,000 gold up front from our organization for you guys to leave, and 10,000 if you were willing to join in the combat as an ally as well for some monetary recompense in the situation.
Well, so, you know, whatever you happen to find lying around. As he kind of makes a mini minor illusion of a collapsed unconscious body.
This gives you then both guaranteed in good faith monetary value as well as potentially value and security from a greater alliance. You can choose which option you choose of the ally or simply just leaving this party, and takes out the risks of death, combat, or losing everything in terms of, as you said, a 22-way deal, which is not great for business even if we were to fall to the fort.
He looks at you for a brief moment. He looks at Fisher. He looks at his right hand. The guy looks at him and goes, What about you, Remy? Just how many resources from your guild can you promise in the whole thing? I mean, good relationship with a guild that hunts is not negligible. I mean,
Honestly, it would kind of depend on how much Raimi can promise without asking permission.
Well, judging from what you told me, you're sort of in the middle in your guild. You're not the lowest. You're not part of the decision-making central group, but you essentially consider them like parental figures. So you do talk to them quite a lot. So, I don't know. If you want to give a picture into your mind, you may have
Because if Raimi
a
wanted to be
level-
able to put forth a thought, it's like the thought would be that it's like a promise to at least really push for a future negotiation with his guild that it would essentially guarantee assistance on a future hunt.
well, in those words, you probably be able to. I mean, they didn't send you a death threat for putting the seal of your guild on a village so that they would protect them. They did reprimand you on it, but they did not do so by yelling or promising punishment. They were just annoyed. So I don't know, you're sort of the equivalent of a second lieutenant or something like that in the guild. Promising the possibility of negotiation is probably something that you can do, but also you're probably 90% sure that they would like more than just a promise. What they're hoping to get, you'd say, is the guarantee of a favor owed. And the bigger the favor, the more favorable they're going to be to accept audience's deal.
Then I wonder then if maybe it could be that it basically boils down to a you scratch our back, we scratch yours with backing from his guild on a future hunt.
Yeah, essentially.
In the sense that, like if they might potentially be risking their lives to help us, it would only make sense that we would potentially be willing to risk our lives for their benefit. Plus, again, some potential backing from his own guild for possibly even a larger or more difficult task.
Yeah. I'd say, from the standpoint of a rogue going from a guild to another guild, you can understand that if he accepts audience's deal, he's letting go of something that is extremely precious. I mean, you've seen the Exiled up close. A single pound of their cloth, 1,000 platinum. You can easily go. He easily has at least 50 to 60 pound of cloth on him. And with what Fisher said earlier, because of what Terry saw, probably even more. So that's a huge bounty that they're letting go. So he wants to be sure that he has at least the promise, the rogue, I swear promise, of help in a hunt that would yield something in the same bracket.
So then, yeah, I think Raimi will probably present it in basically the way I describe it, or basically the way I described it. They help them with this. We help them with an equally profitable, it's like task later with some potential guild backing as a thank you for a favor.
You sort of have that little thought in your mind of the description that you were given in the beginning by Antasia, and you can't help but to think that they're going to ask us to get the scale of a living dragon.
I mean, honestly, we'd be fine with that. It's like we're gonna have to do that eventually anyway. Well, I mean, not specifically to get a scale from it, but like all signs indicate that this party is going to be fighting a dragon at some point.
What?
Well, maybe
I'm just saying that there's a certain dragon that probably shouldn't be allowed to live.
Everyone deserves to live. Come on.
It needs to die before it becomes an actual god.
What makes you think that? Come on.
What? That's not what he's trying to do. He's just having a bit of fun. Just messing around.
All right, so
Well, I guess maybe the way that Raimi would at least describe it in, I guess, Thieves' Camp for simplicity. Or maybe Thieves' Camp / just regular slang. It's like, you scratch our back, we scratch yours. I do believe the scales are balanced. And then it's like, makes maybe this, which maybe the, and then throws up his guild sign and makes the sound of marching. Hopefully they're smart enough to follow that. I mean, it's basically what I described for you, but like in the way that Raimi is able to.
All right, all right, all right. You're making this interesting. You're making this interesting.
I mean, just look at the guy as he just like gestures over at audience and then like kind of like specifically at his muscles. Well, we're gonna flaunt the fact that we're high level.
No, I mean, yeah, and having the backing of a guild for a future endeavors, a IOU, is kind of nice. Now, we got a second problem with this one, however. If you don't get out of this alive, no one's gonna know about it. So, how would you be willing to make sure that this deal survives you if worse comes to pass?
We have quite large monetary holdings in terms of our death. I'm going to go over and take a piece of paper and kind of write up a contract. You may bring this to any representative of a mailbox and send it to. Does the garden have like a fucking invoice?
Well, some people actually do manage to get quests to them. So yeah, they probably do.
Okay.
And
I'll write down.
It will probably go through Dayrez, the only sentinel able to leave the.
I'll write down the contactor to contact this individual, and I am willing to offer on terms of death. Together with our party, we would easily be able to fund you at least 100,000 gold upon our death from our coffers, in terms of our death in this circumstance, which is far more guaranteed than you'll get from anything else in this profit or risk.
No, I suppose that's an interesting deal. And you hear one of the guy outside say, "Well, hold on a minute. It's my job, actually, to make sure that anything that you decide to put your name on is written properly." That's the guy with the little twist of evil inside of him, stepping forward.
Lawyers.
Oh, yeah. I'll look at him and I'll be like, honestly, I'm not a contract writer, so any mistake is not intentional, but it may not. I wrote it very simply.
Oh, here it is. Like, I was not appropriately identified at the beginning of the contract. I could refer to anybody.
Yeah, he probably underlines a few places like this where it said this is ambiguous. This could mean anything. You need more precision there.
Okay, talk me through it.
All right.
Audience learns contract law.
Yeah.
What are you investing in? What do you need me to do, basically? Talk me through it.
Oh, well. You roll and say, well, they do have advantage. So you roll once, you get a 10. You roll them once again, you get a 10. Fuck you. All right. The contract quickly becomes very technical in nature, with you having to identify what you mean as this and how this is going to be referred to into the rest of this contract. You immediately get the impression, oh, okay, phew, he didn't study with gnomes because gnomes do not take this shortcut. Gnomes are excessively precise in the contract they make. But if you want to make an intelligence roll, investigation, if you have a better bonus than just pure intelligence.
Fisher, look this over with me. I'll say.
I was about to offer.
have your friend help look this over as well. I feel like he would understand this better.
He's not helping me with investigation right now, but
Okay. He might
I
still be
still
able
have
to
a
give me
plus
insight.
9. So
Yeah,
well,
but not roll.
I didn't roll great.
You probably
Well,
rolled better than a 3.
You have a
Well,
luck
I
point.
rolled a 4,
you
but
have
it's
luck
plus
points.
9. Yeah, I think I'm going to use a luck point. This seems like it might
honestly,
be
honestly, guys, it's like while Fisher's looking over the contract, it's like Ravi is just paying attention to everything on Fisher's side of the mind link as he probably reads to himself.
So you hear I being name of audience.
In other words, I'm making a roll as well.
So you're helping Fisher. All right. So
I'm just surprised you guys didn't throw the contract in my face since.
well, that's
for
because
many
he knows
reasons,
that you're
but-
better suited for that. All right. So, what is the result of that investigation?
Remy, are you rolling on your own or are you helping me?
Well, actually, I'll have Draken dictate that. Is that giving him advantage, or am I making a separate roll?
You can make a separate roll if you want, but you can also just give him advantage if you feel he has a better investigation.
Considering that I can't get lower than a die 10,
Yeah, just make your own roll. It's fine. We'll all
that's
make our
gonna
rolls.
be.
Fisher, did you roll again with the luck point or no?
No.
Yeah, honestly, I'd save it for what might be a situation later.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remind myself of what my bonus is because we didn't level up that long ago. All right, hold on. I can calculate this. What am I doing?
So in the meantime, Fisher, you
20,
look at this,
26.
You look at this contract, and it takes only 5 minutes before you're completely lost. And wait, hold on.
I
This
ended
is
up with
referring
the
to what?
13. I ended up with the 13.
Completely lost. You heard him. Completely lost.
Well, you know, his total exceeds 20, so you're looking at this and go, wait, hold on, this
I'm
refers to
vaguely
what?
lost at the worst.
Didn't we say that this was identified as... No, hold on, that was the other page. Fortunately, Remy whispers in your mind, or at least gives you moments where it feels like the contract is leaning toward giving a little bit more, promising a little bit more than you did. Especially a little line at the end, that the way that it's written, Remy gives you a really bad feeling about this, that the way that it's written, if you all die, they apparently inherit the taking charge of the exiled, so they can do whatever they want if you all die.
Yeah, no, don't want that in there. Also want to make sure that it's specifically tied to if we die here defending the exiled. And
Yeah, that
not
might
just
be like
if
something
we
else.
ever die.
Also, make sure it states that this is only if they choose to accept the deal, not help, not if we die. And then they're
Yeah.
just like, oh, yeah.
Hold on, let's get a devil in here. Let's make this contract really binding.
Okay. So thanks to Remy, you do see a few moments where things could have gotten a little bit ambiguous. And when you stop and start reading this place a little bit more, with a little bit more intention, you do notice just this very slight anointment in the eyes of their lawyers. Yeah, they saw it. But what he says out loud is more of a, yes, of course, you're absolutely right. There is a little bit of an ambiguity here.
Cursing under his breath.
Of course. We're going to have to specify if you all fall into combat on this day or the next one. All right. Well then. I think we're
got lawyered, counter-lawyered.
I think we are in agreement. This looks promising. Help for a future hunt involving our common friend, and he points toward Remy. With the helping of our common friend's guild. And apparently everyone is fine with the idea of there not being a time limit to call in this favor. So, I think we have a decent deal. Now, if all of you would like to sign this contract to make sure that all involved party members...
Sure. Can we just sign it for our party? Our party is attached as one. We should be bindingly contracted if we just sign it under our party's name. And that way I don't have to have our Druid come in.
It's like, how did my signature get on this contract?
Well, in that case, yes, of course. You could always sign as your party. We're just going to make that a little change inside of the contract so that the party is identified as being the target of this and not just one of you or all of you individually. What is, and you see that their lawyer sort of have a little disdain when he says this. What is your
Time nights?
Oh, yes, of course.
It's actually easier if you don't have context.
You get the impression of a guard who answers a child who says that he is Valdorak, Lord of the Mountain. Yes, time nights, of course. And we're going to add the four of you as being the members of this party. All right. Takes new pieces of parchment paper. Nice ones, they don't look like they've been through war. He writes, He writes back everything that was written, adding the precision, making sure that the last part stating that in the case you all die, which in this case will state in the case where the Time Knights are all perish in combat. And Time Knights referencing to audience, and he does ask you for your full name so that you can
I'll
be
give it to him.
identified amongst your own people. Remy, of course. Fisher. Jorg. Does any one of you know if Jorg has a last name?
It's Jorg George.
Yeah. It's George.
Of the
It's his full name.
jungle. Of the gungle.
Yeah. Jorg is his legal name. I guess you could put Jorg the Druid if you want to be more specific.
Yes.
Jorg Jetson. Oh no, hold on. Jorg Jetstream.
Well, audience, you being a man of faith, you would probably easily know that it's possible to just identify Jorg as Jorg of, and the name of whatever Druidic clan he's part of.
Yeah. I don't even
Jorg
know
of the
if he's part of a
Spores.
Druidic clan.
I don't think Avery knows either.
Yeah, just put
I
Jorg.
thought he was kicked out.
He kicked himself out.
No, he. It's self-banishment.
Yeah, like I said, he kicked himself out.
Yeah.
He was drawing too much bad attention. But at that time, he was trying to be a priest. So, technically, you're right. He did get kicked out of his priestly order. And then he joins the druids.
I almost want to imagine now. Just okay. One last reference, just like Jorg as he's being sent away. The hills are alive with the sound of music.
And then there's a priest from an elemental guild that says, "Hey, that's offensive."
It's like, oh, tell me more, and that's how he joined a druidic circle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So the contract.
It's not the weirdest backstory for a druid, but
It's not the weirdest backstory for a D&D player, period. I've heard a whole lot weirder from warriors.
Oh, yes, I fought for 35 years in the war-torn battles of insert war here. It's like, and now I return to the adventuring life at level 2.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, someone did try that at least once. On me. He wanted to be. He wanted to have his backstory of how it all began as a warrior who fought alone against wave and waves of enemy, but he was vanquished and taken into prison as a prisoner, and that's how the party met him inside of the prison cell. So, what's your definition of wave and waves as level 1? Oh,
Rats.
Yeah, maybe I exaggerated a little bit, huh? Yeah.
A picture of that dude with no shirt in a club fighting some crabs.
As the tide is coming in. All right. The whole contract is interesting. He likes the idea of a future hunt. All right. He looks at all of you for a brief moment. It's all right. I think I'm comfortable with that contract. And, now that you know what we want, I'm just saying, should you ever change your mind and be willing to, just cut off a little bit of that exile's cloak. Or if you happen to find an interesting piece of a beast that can sell for equivalent amount of gold, I'd be willing to forgo the favor. You look like capable people.
If you put it in writing.
You see their lawyer go, and he gets out a bunch of paper again.
Look, he can't actually be angry at Raimi for being very reasonable. Just like, it's like, no, put it in writing. Because otherwise you get a favor and something cool.
No.
All right.
I mean, all he really has to do is just like put it on the back of the contract. This contract is null and void. It's like if such and such.
No. He's an evil lawyer, so you get 2 pages explaining that. All right. Well, in that case, that's very interesting, and I do believe that a sum of money was promised on top of this deal. He's waiting expectantly.
Audience, that's your cue.
I know. Sorry, I had about. Can you repeat the? I was in the middle of a mouthful.
You see audience eating a piece of bread.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, sorry. I do believe a certain amount of money was promised with this.
Yes. Which option are you taking? Just leaving or agreeing to help fight for our side?
Well, since there might be at least something interesting in having your help along with it. I mean, we would be willing to help you up to a certain point. I'm sure you can understand that there is an acceptable losses for any endeavor, but if it goes beyond that, we will just be retreating to a safer position.
Okay, that's fair.
In other words, he's saying, we'll help you, so give us the 10,000, but we won't die for you.
Yeah, that's okay. That would be unexpected. Do you want me to shout the 10,000, or do we each just want to give, like, what would that be, 2,500?
Everyone turns around and looks at Jorgs.
2,500 gold.
Yeah.
Or I guess 250 platinum.
Yeah, or 250 platinum.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Remy, you in? You want me to cover your...
It's like, we'll leave Jorg at pending. It's like, but Raimi will contribute at the very least.
Okay. I will change my gold number. Alright. We pay it.
All right. Well, that was an interesting business.
Hey guys, we hired a poaching guild, kind of.
They kind of hired us, and we kind of hired them.
You hired them for now, and they hired you for later.
Yeah.
And in the end, whatever they're going to be asking is going to give them a lot more than what they would give you for hiring them, for hiring you. So, all right. Well, you thwarted an attempt at getting had by a contract. So, after a while, you do come out. You maybe spent, I don't know, I want to say somewhere like 2 hours, maybe 3, talking about all of this. So, it was really early in the morning, probably something like 7.
Camp is on fire.
You get out, there's fire everywhere, there's a breach in the wall.
This is why we had others and Magna watching.
Magna. Interesting. Roll the perception for Magna.
Sure. Magna's new perception is +5. It's still +5. Okay. Seven. Rolled 2.
So that's the die, or that's the total?
7 is the total.
You keep having to, there's a really odd element that happens while she's watching everything outside. It seems like you just got an infestation of mice, and she just goes, she spends the entire 3 hours just chasing little rodents. You keep having to bring her back to attention. That's why you were distracted a little bit of time ago. You were you were thinking to Magna, focus. I know that your earring increased, but focus. So you don't get a lot. You don't get a lot out of her. So when you leave, nothing seemed to have changed. I'd say probably Remy is the one that has the best passive perception. You do notice that Antasia is not looking outward, but inward. So maybe she's trying to attract your attention. She knows you have a very good passive perception.
Remy will walk over and say, "Is everything all right, Remy?"
As the other escort the group outside, the gates open, and so on. She says, "It's gonna be going down today, I think. There's a lot of people outside and they're moving. Not only that, but I keep having this feeling that we're gonna have to be watching upward also." She tried a divination moment and she rolled a natural 20. So she says that as in, and you get the feeling that the sky is just going to start falling on your head at some point, and almost quite literally.
That's great.
I didn't catch everything that happened down there because I could only get half of the conversation. So I guess that judging from the relaxed stance of everyone, you mostly got what you were hoping to get.
Yes.
It was give and take, but we got there.
And then you hear audience's answer, yes.
Antasia, do we have any protections from the sky, like shielding? I know that you were mentioning how it might be difficult to fly in over those. Do we have any kind of dome coverage or protection from sky raids?
Minimal. What I was able to add to the protection of this is a Mighty Fortress spell. So nothing can get in, get out. So for those who need a reminder of what the Fortress spell was in the 5th edition 2014, Fortress, no, not Mighty Fortress, hold on. Oh man, I had it here. Where did it go? Where did it go? I lost it. Alright, I'm going to bed. I lost it.
I mean, in a way, aren't we all losing it?
Oh, that's so frustrating. I had it in front of me. And I looked somewhere else for another spell while you were talking, and then I completely lost it.
Are you looking for the fortress spell?
I thought I was. This is why I ended up on Mighty Fortress, but no, that's... It just protects the place where you are right now, not creating a fortress.
There's Sanctum spell. There's there's a magic item that makes a fortress.
No, that's what she used to make it. Now she. All right. Oh,
Thinking
well.
about what's it called? Something in wards.
Oh, probably because, like I said, I had it in front of me. I look at something else, and in my mind it was fortress. So I just made a quick search for that, and that's the one that I found. But that's clearly not the one I was looking for right before I started looking at this, because
Is it like guards and wards, maybe?
Maybe guards and wards. Is that what you're saying?
All right. Well, it's
I
a
mean, we could take a break since it is 12:05.
Okay, that's the other option. I was gonna say, well, it's a spell. I remember it exists, and I'm gonna look for it during the break. But yeah, if we take the break right now, I could probably just look for it right now. All right, well then, in that case, yeah, it's a perfect moment to take the break. We're gonna go on the break. Da-dum. Marsh sound, because it's better to have sound when you're on a break than no sound. Okay, and break. All right, see you back in 15 minutes. Bye. And we're back. Look, we didn't take 20 minutes to come back. Well, we did take 3 more minutes than I wanted. All right, 2.5 actually. All right. I had time to go check which spell it was, and it took a few minutes, but we did find it again. And once again, I did the stupid thing, and I scrolled away. Here we go. So, Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum. You do have protection from visual elements, both divination and actually looking. Oh, we don't need the marsh sound. We're back. Although I do like the sounds of marsh. I don't know, there's something very enjoyable with the sounds of toads. I don't want to say something stupid, but I do mistake toads and frogs from time to time. Is it the sound of frogs that I like or toads? I'll have to check to make sure. But I do like those little amphibians. They're really nice to have in a garden. Why do you think some place in the world consider this luck? You know, they make little golden statues of, of toads. They're really good at eating every insect that can find its way into a garden. And they don't eat the plants.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah. When I was younger, we had one found its way into my parents' garden. That was the best year of their life with that garden. All right, so you have sound barrier, visual barrier, divination barrier, teleportation barrier, and even planar travel barrier. But unfortunately, it does not provide physical barrier. That is the fort itself. So while the walls will have a certain resistance to getting bombarded from the air, there's no actual protection.
Okay. Well, if you're worried about it, that's understandable. I have a definition. Let's have Yasalna and Azidra keep their eyes on the sky. Hopefully we can get a warning about anything. A lot of us have flight capabilities, so check. But yeah, we'll make sure to be careful of an aerial assault.
All right.
Let me also call.
Yes.
I'm gonna call Longshot real quick.
Okay. takes a moment because you have to go to Sierra, but you are transferred to Longshot. Yeah.
Longshot. We've had a potentially warning of a potential area assault that might be building. Do any of the groups seem to have any flying capabilities, either with something they've built or animals that they might control? Anything you've noticed?
No, not really. I think we may be able to pull off 2 or 3 arcane ballista shot level of power, but that's gonna be it. If there's something flying, if it's organic, that might be enough to take it down, but if it's not, like a flying ship, that's not gonna be enough to get through the barrier.
Okay. But you haven't been able to see anything from any other organizations based.
No, but I did gather the rumors that there may be reinforcement coming in. I think that's gonna be it, however, for now. I see maybe 20 different flags and emblems, but some don't have anything. And there's a wizard that arrived this morning. He's just standing on the hill. It looks like he's waiting for something. I don't know what.
Alright, well, let us know. Send us a warning if you see anything come up. We'll prepare for potential aerial assault.
Alright. Is there a side of the wall that you'd like us to focus on? We don't. I received a little bit of reinforcement. So maybe if we focus everything we have, we may be able to collapse the assault on the fort from one side. Or maybe you just want us to go everywhere and try to make as much chaos. But if we have to spread out, I can't guarantee you how efficient it'll all be.
I think, yeah, if you could just take care of one side, that'd be...
Yeah, that would be helpful. Honestly, I think we can take care more of the main gate. Do we want them at the back, or do we want them at one of the sides? It would just be good having someone watch the back of the fort. Like someone consistently watch the back of the fort.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, if you could just make sure no one's sneaking up on us from behind, we can help then at least keep all our enemies in front of us.
I almost want to imagine like a thieves guild creating, a siege breaker that literally has sneak attack as one of its features. Just like it deals extra damage to a fortress if it comes from behind.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I got a long shot. I'd like, if you could group your force. That'd be pretty helpful. Help dissolve any attacks from behind.
All right, we'll reposition, and as soon as everyone starts moving, I'm getting the impression that it's going to be today because people are getting restless. They're just...
We have a couple now. I'll mention... I think I already mentioned the priests. The dwarven priests are now our allies, as well as we have the Thieves Guild, and I'll tell them the emblem of the one that is our allies. So they are now on our side.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I saw the priests. They're actually positioned on the toward the back of the fort. Do you still want us there, or would you rather we take another front?
If they're positioned towards the back, what side is the Thieves Guild positioned on?
I think it's... I'm gonna see if they want to change place. Nope, they don't want to change place. I saw them toward the front, a little bit higher up, maybe somewhere, maybe oriented toward the tower of the front,
Okay.
the upper tower.
Why don't you take the left side then?
That's the gate.
And we'll watch the right and the other and
So
yeah,
the way that the
right.
fort is positioned, the main gate is
Oh.
at the left of the screen. So,
Oh,
so
why don't
the
you watch the
back is
right?
the
Why don't you watch the
so the
whatever
back is the right.
Uh-huh.
So the dwarves.
I was organizing this from the position of the main gate, but
Okay. So if you're going like this, so the dwarves would be positioned at somewhere in the back. The thieves guild that you just hired would be positioned toward the front of the gate.
Yeah.
So like this.
yeah. So just put them. I'll just put them on one of the sides. They can
Okay.
honestly choose whichever side.
Well, they can choose, but you can influence that. You know that there is a greater amount of soldiers on the right side of the fort, so the northern side. This is where
So-
there's the most soldier.
Put them on the left then.
You'll put them on the left. They can take care of the left. We'll deal with the larger amount of
Okay.
forces.
All right, that's good. We'll reposition. All right, take care of yourself because it's gonna get nasty.
All right. Thank you for the warning.
It's-
Then I will go to
it's-
talk to Yasal
Okay.
after.
As
she's in one of the
as you
towers.
hear the orb closing, you sort of hear Longshot whispering, "Now, why couldn't Sul be there to this time?" And he closes the orb.
I mean, I wish Yasal was here too. I get that. Having a flying guy, Blade Master, would not be a bad thing to have right now.
That's you now, audience.
You know, as Tasul's apprentice from like session 2 of this entire campaign.
No, he's been your martial teacher on several occasions.
Yeah.
I mean, for Paladin, you went to Grandpa, but now Grandpa's dead. Maybe because of your guild.
I have no
maybe
master.
because of your guild.
Probably because of my guild. It's been pretty confirmed. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to Yasal now.
All right. She watches you come up. When you arrive, she is leaning on the side of the one of the higher portions of the wall. So that was an interesting conversation you had with your gilded friends. Now,
Yeah. Probably overpaid for what we had to, but I'd rather overpay for their services in this tense situation than underpay and have them potentially turn against us.
well, it's always better to pay well people who responds to that sort of thing.
I'm up here because Antasia had a divination and she said that the next assault may be aerial. So I just wanted to warn you to keep an eye on the skies, as you seem to be up in the tower normally watching, and just basically that the next assault might come from the skies.
That's interesting. Also quite convenient. Your friends inside of this lovely garden of yours have a very interesting community of gnomes. I did take the opportunity to fill some of my bags with the everything that I usually take and a few other things. And I just it just so happens that one of those things may be useful for this situation. I'll get on setting them up immediately.
All right. I appreciate it. I think we're gonna lay some salt wards just in case, because of the necromancy guild. It should block out any undead they might summon. But
that's always a good idea. I get the feeling that everything is going to start exploding very quickly. You can feel the tension in the air here, and it's not a change in the fog.
all right. I'll head back down and go assist, I guess, in spreading salt. If these guys are going to do their salt ward stuff.
Alright. Let me remember how large you can make those. Where did I write that? Salt ward. It just so happened it is here, right here. Okay.
15-foot radius around the caster. Permanent place that just this origin point is 15 foot around the caster.
Ward against the appears around the caster. Yeah. First level spell that lasts 8 hours without. Okay. Okay. Alright, so Fisher gets on casting salt wards for everyone preparing for the attack. There's a little bit of tension that stays, as you also feel like right now it is a bit of the calm before the storm. It's gives a little bit of a chill before everything happens, because it's just so quiet. No one is prodding in any way the barrier around this, and you can't hear anything else from outside. You know that at some point the sky is going to fall on your head, but you're not very sure about anything else. Hopefully, Hisana's little surprise will be able to mitigate that problem.
You know, I think Remy is going to do one weird thing.
Okay.
He's actually going to go over, like, by the Exiled.
Okay.
He's going to open up his storybook
Okay.
and have the Orb of Audibles start reading from the beginning.
Okay. What is in the storybook again?
It's the one that the princess gave me.
Okay.
Like a book of fairy tales.
Ah, okay, yeah. Interesting choice. Interesting.
It was intended for him to learn more appropriate language.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember. More children-friendly language. Okay. He listens. He listens to everything. And I would even go so far as asking you to make an insight roll right now.
That's actually going to be a 29.
29. All right. He remains hard to read. It's literally an alien. You can't You've never seen one before. But there are some subtle elements which you can recognize. A slight twitch in his head telling you that he's hearing something on one side. Paying attention to you. And this is probably the oddest feeling that you've ever had. You've always paid very close attention to everyone. That's how you are. That's how you learn. That's basically the foundation of your being. But looking at him, listening, you get such a weird feeling of him listening to everything in ways that you might not actually understand. He listens to you. He pays attention to you in a way that very rarely anyone has ever done, to every single movement that you make, single twitch from your finger as you're trying to orient the orb as it's starting to speak, so that the sound is as best as it could. You just paying attention to him, focusing, your eyes squinting just a little bit. It's strange to him. It's new. It's different. He's paying attention to you, paying attention to him. You're muted. You muted yourself.
Sorry, I was chewing on something before. I looked at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me.
Exactly.
Everything is recorded in his mind. To such a point that you are forced to look back at everything that happened in here. Did he pay attention to all of it? Like that? When you were fighting, when you were talking, when you were exchanging, making that deal in that tent. He seemingly can hear things that even you can't hear from outside of the fort. Can he hear the people talking? Can you hear them plot against all of you? For the first time in your life, you feel like someone is paying so close attention to you that you become kind of self-conscious of your own heartbeat at one point. I mean, can you hear that? Can you hear the difference? The increase? The decrease? How sharp are his perceptions? He listened to every single story that your orb tells, to every single word. You recognize the face of someone who listens to understand, and for no other reason, just to understand.
Truly a model student.
In a way, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He is a student of the world, of your world. And that's where you sort of have a moment of our world. Is it a good thing? What can we learn about our world that would make someone want to be a good person? I mean, that's the whole reason why some of you are good persons. It's because you can't see how bad the world can actually get. You can still keep faith. That's why faith people are everywhere, because they're there to make sure that the light remains. But if you need to keep the light at all time, doesn't it speak of how dark everything is? And he's listening to that. And the stories that you tell with your orb.
Me actually just start. Me actually even starts to wonder, like, do they even have fairy tales where he comes from?
Do you say anything to him?
It's like, well, maybe not while the story is still going. It's like, but I would say, especially since he is now also talking to somebody who is vulnerable, doesn't understand much, and trying to find their place in the world. I think he would at least echo something that was told to him by a very good friend. I may not understand you, but you deserve happiness just like everyone else. I hope I can help you find it.
He looks at you for a brief moment when you say this. And I hope you can find it as well. Your world.
Right, Shady said something. Sorry, continue.
It's okay. You can see the surprise in your eyes when, when he answers. Your world is different than mine. Larger. But people can see so little. No wonder you can't make the difference between friend and foe. It is a difficult existence you have. Those stories are easy to understand. They have simple conclusion, challenges which are easy to figure out. I think even you can easily understand them.
Burn.
So, to whom are those stories intended to?
So, since he knows that he's listening and seeing everything, so it's like Raimi does minor illusion next to him. Would look like a group of children.
You've probably seen ample children playing in parks or running after one another with a stick in their hand, mimicking an assault on something. All running toward a poor cat, saying, "It's a tiger! It's a tiger!" Are they a different version of what is, or what was? He looks at you again because he sees that you have some difficulty understanding what he means. He looks.
I think I maybe lost some of what you said.
Okay.
So then, I myself am confused. Like, wait, what did he say?
Are they different version of what is, or versions of what was? When he sees your confusion, he looks at you again. Takes a little bit of time to think. He points at you, and he points at Isalna. Different version of what is. Or different version of what was. And he just points at you specifically.
So he's saying the stories themselves.
To whom are they addressed? You show him images of children, and he asks you if that image is of other version of what is, or versions of what was. And as an explanation, he says, pointing you and Isalna, version of what is, and just you, version of what was.
Either I don't have enough context of what he means by that.
Do you want to strain
Mostly-
Remy's mind with an intelligence roll?
Well, I'm just trying to figure why she's an is, but Raimi is a was.
You and her are different version of what is. And he points at only you for a version that what was.
I think I would specifically focus on the was for Raimi.
Okay.
Uh, 12?
The only sense you get of what he's trying to say is when he talks about different version of what is, he points at more than one person. And when he points at version of what was, he points at one person.
Okay, so this sounds like a situation of somebody is translating a language
Yes.
and
He is
Yeah.
very much trying to translate his language into yours.
okay, it's like then Raimi will repeat the first one of what is in his own voice.
I see.
To, and maybe Raimi would even emphasize it a bit by also like illusioning audience, Fisher, Terry. It's like and a number of different kinds of folks that he has met.
Yes. Different versions of what is. You all are. But you also all are different.
Raimi nods.
And those are different. Pointing at where you place the image of the children playing. Those are different.
So Raimi nods, and I guess maybe to help communicate understanding, it's or at least in hopes that it is like communicating in some way. He first illusions a child, then illusions an adult version of like of that same species, and then he will illusion a sapling in the ground, and then a flower fully in bloom. Because now I'm realizing, oh, he might not know what children are.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say the moment you do this, you make the version of a child and then an adult. It's sort of version of what was. And then you make your sapling and yes. Past version of what is, what was. So these tales are for those who were and will be.
Maybe nods.
But, and he looks at you very intently. You sort of feel slightly naked by the way he's looking at you. It feels like he's going inside of your mind, inside of your soul and scooping something up. But you did not have these tales when you were.
Yeah, Raimi shakes his head in affirmation.
So not all can benefit from this knowledge that you show me.
Some folks leave harder lives than others.
For what reason?
Oof.
Hey, you're literally talking to someone who wants to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's like
Same question as kids would ask, but
Hey,
that's actually
Daddy,
the mind
why
of an
do
adult.
bad things happen to good people?
it's like I'm not sure exactly how long this particular interaction will go. It's like but because it sounds like a lot of different things are gonna start being like incorporated. It's like for example, it's um
Well, let's just say that in game, you can have more than 5 minutes to talk about this. You could easily have 10 minutes, half an hour to talk with him.
yeah.
Out
It's
of
like
game, I'd say maybe you can summarize it in 5 minutes, and we can go to something else.
well, I just want to make sure, just like because this sounds like something that could, as Fisher under just like point out, it's just like this could very easily be the child just asking why, why, but like in the nice way. It's like, but I think how Raimi would approach answering these questions is like with images with some additional context. So like for example, uh like inevitably like some were literally too poor. It's like they don't have enough like money, or as you would probably put it, like enough food, water, etc. It's like he would maybe introduce the idea of like basically procreation. It's like because you'd have to at least explain that to help him understand that some kids grow up without families or parents. It's uh
So, in other words,
like
you
a
show him the worst of your society toward children, the loss of parents, child being abducted, being forced into things that they don't want to live.
like him. He wants to learn about the world, and he's gonna learn about the bad parts of it eventually. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but he will also at least throw in like again like like a progressively like through like pictures and concepts. It's, like the idea of like even the folks who do have access to these stories, some of them choose to lead by go by their example, and some do not. Kind of like emphasizing that
Okay.
you can teach somebody a lesson, but they ultimately choose what to do with their lives.
Okay. I'll say two things. The first one is when you're describing how people can die and children can be left without parents and all. He would ask you, he needs to learn something of you, and he would ask you if you would trust him and put your hand forward.
Amy will choose to trust him and put his hand forward.
You see his cloth take the shape of a needle, a real small needle. Takes your hand into his own hand, and he just prick you very quickly. Just a very delicate stab, but just enough that you see a little drop of blood starts to appear. Just a little pearl of blood. Not enough to flow, not enough to anything, just enough that he sees the reaction in your hand just go. And he has a moment of concern at this. As if he is dismayed by this result. And he says, so fragile. You are so fragile. In his voice, and that's odd because you have no visual cue about this, but in his voice, you can hear sorrow for this.
Aw, guys, you just learned about death.
No.
Oh, he just learned that you are fragile. Just that was enough to make you bleed. And it seems to...
Okay, I thought he was reading a bit more into that. It's like, yeah, sure.
No.
He seems to literally feel sorrow that you live in such a condition, that you are this easy to injure. You swear you could almost hear the little faint trembling of a crying voice for half a second when he said it. The second moment where he would interact with you in your story is when you tell him that you can give that information to some people and some will choose not to listen to it. For a brief moment, in the way that he looks at you, it's as if you just told him something that doesn't make sense for him. So his head just moves slightly toward you. Even though you can't see anything under his cowl, it feels like you're just watching someone squint and look at you. And he just says, that is disconcerting. That you would choose such a path. And that seems to affect him more than anything else you've said so far. He just stops reacting for a little bit. He goes back to his position of meditation. And unless you interact with him more, he's going to stay like this.
I mean, as a teacher, it's like, know that, like, when something in particularly impactful or like something that needs more processing, it's like, you got to leave the kid or the student with time to think, like, actually, like, process it fully. It's,
Okay. Well, needless to say, he will remember everything you just said. They're all things that have
I mean,
just been added to what he will consider.
it's like I think he would probably say this, and hopefully like that would also like leave him something to ponder, like related to it, but maybe help him to at least understand a little bit, even if not fully understand it. But he'll say the phrase, "It is because of our choices that makes our short lives worth living."
He listened carefully, but he doesn't add anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so with story time done and leaving him with time to think more, as well as attuning to the rest of the world, no big deal.
Everything
like Ray will.
Everyone does that
Easy.
every Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Well, technically Wednesdays.
And maybe just check up to see what other people are doing. It's like because I don't know how long this would have been. It's like in total.
In game time, inside of D&D, it would have probably been something like 20 minutes, maybe 30, just enough children's tale. A children's tale usually doesn't take 20 minutes. A lot of children don't have that kind of attention span. It's got to be something that...
Technically, most folks don't have an attention span of bigger than 20 minutes. But
So you probably had enough time to give him 3 or 4 story before he started reacting. So yeah, something like, oh jeez, that looks like it tasted awful, Sam.
No, it's fine.
Like someone trying to drink cold coffee. So it probably took something like 20, 30 minutes in total. Enough time to explain all of that to him, and enough story that he would understand the whole thing. So
we come back and there's a bunch of now patches in the fort where the salt had been thrown onto onto the ground.
Yeah.
Presumably, I don't know what y'all were doing.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry, salt wards the spell, protects the caster. So essentially, Fisher went from person to person and cast.
I
Give
thought
them
it
a-
cast it protects an area.
Oh, I have 2 spells. Hold on. Then
I mean, I could double check that. It's,
Pretty sure it protects an area.
well, the salt ward. The
yeah, a
spell.
15-foot radius immobile area warded against undead.
Okay, I have 2. All right. It's okay.
Like, I think they're
versions of it.
Well, it's
No.
also possible that, because I think I remember at some point you mentioning that there was some sort of second level spell that did something similar but still different. It's like I don't have it because I don't even think we learned it. Question mark. But who's to say?
Well, I have the salt ward on the person. That's the one I was looking for. Looking at.
Oh wait, no, I remember what it was. Because I think you said that there actually literally is 2 versions of the spell. The only one that Rainey has is the ritual, because rituals are the only spells that he could put into his spell book.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why. That's the reason why I have that version. But I think there is actually another version that you gave us.
Yes.
I just can't have it because I can't use it.
Hold on. Homebrew collection. Salt. What? It must be selected, or the field must be clear. What do you mean? Oh no. No, not salt. Okay. "15-foot radius immobile around warded 15-foot radius immobile area warded against undead appears around the caster." Did I give you a different spell?
Let me. I have. 15-foot radius immobile area warded against undead appears around the caster. The warded area remains protected against undead for the duration of the spell or until dispelled or overwhelmed.
Yeah, so it's around the caster.
Well, no, like
Well, I
as
get it says immobile, so I was assuming it starts where you cast it around the
Oh,
caster,
okay,
and
okay,
then
okay, okay. Yeah, no, okay. That can.
I figured, yeah, it stays there.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah,
immobile.
Ooh,
it's
okay. That's gonna be
Yeah.
long. So, where do you place those? All of those little wards.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, a spell can potentially do more than one thing. It's just based on how it is written. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it would normally be interpreted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Uh,
It's been a while. So,
Yeah.
this I believe you. I trust what you just said. I probably even explained it to you better when we used it. It's just been a year and a half since the spell was used. So.
Yeah. Um, uh, I think, I mean, just the gate,
Okay.
for one, and then, I mean, I guess if I could, it's each cast is total of 21 minutes. After I'm done with the gate, I think I'd probably just start doing the ramparts.
Okay. It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
15-foot radius, so that's 30-foot circles.
Yes, you're right. I was counting this too small. 5, 10. No, 5, 10, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So each side is gonna take you 4 casting. Yeah, 2 sides are gonna take you 4 casting, and 4 sides is gonna take plus 6 casting. 8. It's gonna take a grand total of 14 casting if you want to do all of the walls. The 4 sides. Did I miscalculate?
oh, it just cut out for me. So, like, so
Okay.
you're saying, like, it was. It's like it was that you said it was 4 castings per side.
Well, 3 and a
it's
half
three
actually.
Yeah, 3 and a third.
Each side is 100 feet. So you have 400 feet to cover. And you're covering this 30 feet at a time. So
12 castings.
Well, there might be at least a little giveaway specifically at the corners, because if the radius of if one side is covering one wall, then inevitably when you get to the corner, it's also going to cover the other wall. Like that's immediately adjacent to it.
That's why I was saying 4-3, but it's more like 3-2, so 10 casting.
All right, so that's
110 minutes.
I mean, if Fisher
hours.
is still. I mean, if Fisher is still, well, yeah, he's definitely still working on it. Like after Raimi's done with his thing, so I think Raimi would support by doing castings of his own to help speed up the process.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. By the time that Remy finishes, Fisher has just finished one side of the fort. You're looking at him. You're looking at everything else. Everything everyone said. I'm gonna help. All right.
Like this fort is very prepared for the next snowfall.
Yeah. So roughly toward what you'd call noon. There's been a little calm, a little quiet. You saw Isana going through all of the 4 towers. It doesn't feel like she did much. You don't see anything else. She just took something out of a pocket. She let it go, and then she moved on to another tower. It took maybe 20 minutes for her to do all 4 towers. Zedra looking outside, and toward noon, you're probably just about ready to finish those preparation. Probably Remy and Fisher, you're on the last casting, both of you trying to finish this as quickly as you can. When suddenly you hear Zedra says, "Something's preparing. There's movement outside. A fair bit of movement, actually." Slowly you can start to see the fog clearing. It's become thinner and thinner and thinner, to the point where you can eventually see everything around you. That's the first time you can actually see everything in a single shot. Looking around, audience, are you on one of the tower or one of the walls?
One of the walls.
From the walls? All right. Which one do you want to be looking from?
I'll just be on the one over the gate.
The gate? All right. For the first time, you can start seeing what is waiting in front of you, and there's a brief moment of, that's a lot of people. You can easily see over 100, if not 200 people in a great line, preparing themselves. They're slowly moving forward, cautiously. Yeah.
And lightning bolt.
Well, actually, you have a druid with you, so call lightning would have been better, but he's not here.
Well, specifically because you said in the line, because the lightning bolt goes
they're
up,
not
down.
in a line
Lightning
like
bolt
this.
goes-
They're in a line like this.
I mean, I would love it if they were all just stacked on top of each other like that. That would be way more efficient for, like, again, call lightning, fireballs.
Mhm.
Do you know how many squares that is if everybody was stacked on top of each other and also grouped up into a convenient 20-foot radius sphere?
Mhm.
That was maybe 20 years ago. One of my a group of my players were facing an army of orcs, and they had prepared the front of the fort completely, traps, everything you could imagine, magic, not magic, and then suddenly they see the army arriving from behind, a legion of orcs. There were thousands of them. They're arriving from behind the castle, and they all look at this and say, "Shit, we didn't prepare the back of the castle. We all thought they were gonna go in front of the castle." So one of them says, hold on. I think I have an idea. You know how to read and write orc, yeah? Yeah? He says, write this on this huge piece of paper. The front is weaker than the back. Go through the gate. And he just puts that at the back of the fort. I roll. I tell them that they see their version of a wizard, sort of a shaman arriving, reading that. They see a bunch of orc moving away. They bunch up in a circle, and they hear them talking about this. One of the players rolling off the floor laughing. That is the actual first time that I saw someone do this. And he says, the worst is that it's not too far off the reality of what could happen with orcs. They roll, and they see the entire army moving toward the front of the castle. Oh, jeez. I think I rolled something like a 2 and a 4 for their discussion, so they completely fell for it. And the entire army got there. And it was still a close fight, but they would have been obliterated if they'd attacked the back of the castle. So, you see all of those people massing up. They're not in a conga line toward your fort. They're not all standing in a 3 square by 3 square. They're not standing in
it's related to the story that you just told. It's like continue. Like you don't have to listen to that.
I'll probably listen to it after. All right. You hear Arunak from one of the towers saying, "Well, I can't see a whole lot, but I think they're coming in." And he's looking at one of the tower, looking toward the back and the right side. You have confirmation from Isalna. They're moving on this side as well. I think we're in it for real this time. At the pace they're marching right now, they're going to reach the walls in about 15 minutes. Is there anything you want to do for that last 15 minutes of preparation? You see Antasia immediately starting to cast summoning of elementals. And there's a lot of them that comes out. You get an impression that she burned a high-level spell so that a small army of elemental would mend the walls.
then I guess, because again, he's not using him right now. It's like just going to start with at least a certain amount of distance. It's like just like like putting some more web traps, but this time around the Exiled. This will be the stickiest fort ever.
You got
They're around
traps
the fort.
outside.
They're in the fort.
Trap outside. Trap inside.
Everyone will be sticky and really annoyed.
All right.
And I still have the Ring of Free action attuned, so
So you can move through
I'm
your
gonna be
own
complete
stickiness.
ass about this.
You can move through your own stickiness without any problems. Yeah! All right. Audience, anything you want to do for that last 15 minutes of
No.
preparation?
I don't think I have.
Stretch.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Let's go. Oh, I was waiting for that one. Ah.
I'm assuming that you still have a flying magna from the previous day.
Yes. Or a buffed magna, yes, I do.
The important thing is that you have a magna, because otherwise that takes 10 minutes to cast. So
Yes, I have a magna.
You have a greater magna. Do you call her back to you?
Yeah, she can stand on the wall.
All right. She looks outward with you because it's the best place for her to stand. And the gate is just slightly larger. You can feel that she is a bit nervous about this.
I will cast See Invisibility on myself.
Okay.
That's what I'll do.
oh, you know what? Let's see here a second. Getting trouble with having things.
Throw up another Rary's telepathic on. Nah, you're throwing webs all over.
I mean, I feel like by this point, if there's like a full-on assault on us, it's like we're gonna be all pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
You can only, at worst, you can be 100 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Usually by yelling, you can hear one another. All right. Is there any placement for the NPCs that you want? Right now, Antasia is at A1, Orunak is at A20, Azidra is at T1, and Isalna is at T20. So, is there a change of position that you want for them?
I don't think
That's
so.
okay.
Well, obviously, we want the Exiled in a completely different location.
Yeah.
But that's probably not an option, so...
He doesn't move a lot. You can always go and ask him.
It's like, hey, can you just, like, I don't know, go to the other side of the planet and finish up, or
He's just like, oh yeah, sure. It just takes off.
And then you look outward.
Thanks, bud.
Oh, they didn't see him leave. We're still stuck with
shit.
them.
Man, wouldn't that be super embarrassing though if he actually did leave and they didn't notice?
Yeah.
Just like we finally broke through their defenses.
What do you
The
mean he's not
defenders
there?
slaughtered.
It's just a little teddy bear sitting in the crater.
No, even better, a fluffed pillow under a blanket.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, Fisher, do you want to be on a wall?
Yes.
Which one?
Which of these corners is Solna at? Again?
T20.
20.
Lower right. I'll have the same question for you, Remy, after.
Then probably A. Wall A. The top wall.
Top wall. All right.
Because she's a wizard, so she can blow stuff up.
And what about you, Remy?
I think what Raimi is going to focus on. Actually, you know what? It's going to be a combination because I'm actually going to keep Raimi pretty central, but I'm also going to have the invisibility spell cast on him while flying in the air with his scope, just so he can like also keep an eye up from a little bit higher, and then also with a little better visibility.
Okay, so you want to be on a tower?
Oh no, I'm literally having him fly up in the center of the fort,
okay.
directly in the center.
Okay. So technically just above the Exile, but high up. Okay. And Fisher, you said a tower or the walls?
I think just the wall.
Okay, and you said the upper wall?
Yeah.
Fisher, here. Fisher's here. All right, I placed them correctly. And, well, I don't know what Jorg wants to take. I guess the big question is, do we move that to the next session? Hopefully he will come.
I feel like it would
Jorg on the
be.
gate without him.
I mean, I guess if anybody, like for example, was going to like start casting some kinds of support spells, maybe
Like I said,
like they all start trying to.
he could potentially have call lightning.
Yeah, if nothing else, he should have some kinds of crowd control spells prepared. If not, he will be stabbed next session.
So one way or the other, he may die next session. All right, I'm positioning all of the elementals. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. 9 and 10. Here we go. So, those are the elemental on your side. And Jorg, you said will be near audience. All right. All right. 40 elemental in grand total.
Noise.
All right. So with this, I think we have little choice but to end today's episode as the charge is being sounded against your wall. And you see what the armies have in store for you. Probably even gonna say they're all moving forward. They all seem to be preparing for something. And you can hear in the distance the sound of something arriving. Something large, something big, something flying.
No, thank you.
It's a flying Tarask.
Yeah! Fortunately, they made the Tarask much easier to kill in this edition than in past ones. Alright, we're going to move you over like this so that they can space themselves better. There you go, like this. Alright. Probably Remy, because I believe you said you're using the spyglass.
Yep, using spyglass.
You turn toward that sound, and that is the last thing everyone's going to hear about. It is a flying ship arriving. A flying ship wearing the emblem that Fisher hates to see the most in the world.
No, thank you.
Actually, that's the last visual, but then the last sound that everybody in the fort can hear is just
Fix it, Otto!
Yeah.
Fortunately, Remy, you're not looking at a siege breaker arriving. You're just looking at a large ship.
all fireballs directed at the ship. All of them.
It will take a little bit more time for the ship to arrive than the army itself, but according to your best estimation, the ship will be arriving during the siege and not after. During the attack, I mean, not after. All right. And with this, I guess next episode we will get to see if all of your preparation bears fruit, if all of your decisions helped or hindered your attempt at saving this creature and surviving this challenge. I will ease your mind just a little bit. You did take some good decisions. What I'm not going to say is, did you take more good decisions than bad decisions? But you did take good decisions. All right. And with this, tonight's episode is going to end. Please tell me that you should be able to make it next episode.
Yes.
Of course, I'm not counting for something that you didn't predict would happen, but still, it would be very awkward if I'm missing half of the party for the attack of the fort.
Yeah. Also, I'm not working on Wednesday next week, so
Oh,
I won't. There's
so
no
it's the
chance
perfect
for
day
me
to
late
start
to
this.
be there.
And hopefully Jorg will be there. If not, one of you will have to look at the spell list that he has and make decisions for him.
Live with it. But
No, he doesn't make bad decisions. He actually did save your bacon once throughout all of this. Without the firewall, it would have been excessively difficult preventing them from teleporting the exiled out of the camp. Your challenge would have been to start running after them. But you, thanks to Jorg,
oh no, Norm, no, it's not specifically like what he prepares. It's when he specifically forgets to change his preparations from day to day.
okay.
Yeah.
Like that one time where he still had all of his like travel around spells prepared and
Well, we
not
know
much
he has.
else of the others.
Yeah, we know he has firewall prepared. So there's at least one good thing. All right, so with this, it is going to be time for all of you to go to bed. And so, thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you had a pleasant whatever part of the day it is, wherever you were in the world. And hope you found whatever you were looking for. If you want to help us, we got Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I should start getting used to calling it X, because even though it's sort of weird, because when you look at the cookie list, it's written x.com. So
It's almost like it was the worst rebranding that has
All
been
time.
seen in
Yeah.
at
Well,
least the last decade.
I'm guessing the guy never played XCOM. So Alright, so X, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. Even have a link below if you want to make donation. Only make those if you can afford it. And if not, well, simply spreading the word of the channel helps. So you got all of those possibilities. For the schedule, remember, Wednesday, 7:30. It's for the Western Coast, because it's 7:30 Western Coast time. Friday, the rebroadcast. If we're on Friday, this is what you just watched. Friday, the rebroadcast. 7:30 for the Eastern Coast time, so 7:30 Eastern Coast time. If you live between the two, I'm sorry, I can't make 3 rebroadcasts. Well, I can, but I don't want to. I still have to be there during the rebroadcast, just in case, like today, someone wants to start selling viewers or something. And in between the two, Thursdays, map making and world building with me, 9:30 Eastern Coast time, because that's where I live. And I think that's everything that I could possibly say. Publicity at the beginning, schedule at the end, and of course, if we have 3 raiders or more on Friday, we raid. Getting a little bit of difficulty reaching that 3 raiders or more in the past few months. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else I can say. Anything you want to say? All right.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Nice.
I feel we got a lot of that
Well said.
recently. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And as always, well, see you next week. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.
Any